Hey everybody, Tony D and Little Joan, and it's that time of year again where we look at the summer of suck. It's why I'm not seeing these movies. Thank you for joining us, right, Little Joan? Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Please check out my books, Wokeistan, a novel, Hollywoke, another novel about Hollywood and the movie industry, and it's very much a political satire. Both the books are also available. Right, Joan. The Pineys, books 1 through 6, comedy horror in South Jersey. Joan loves it. I think you'll love it too. Book 7 coming out this summer. And speaking of the summer of suck, let's get into it. August, Joan. August, here. You want to come over here on my lap? There we go. Okay. August, what's coming out? Suicide Squad. The Suicide Squad. Otherwise known as Suicide Squad 2. Because the first Suicide Squad movie got such terrible reviews, they don't even want it to be associated with the first Suicide Squad. And I gotta hand it to James Gunn. He's really a talent, but I think this is a DOA movie. It's just, this is an example. I always say this, in the world of comics, you take your A teams and you put them on your crappiest comics and you build them back up. This is a franchise they should have just cut loose. They messed it up in the beginning. It was a franchise that should have come out after the Warner Brothers had established the DCU more credibly, and instead they just kind of ran with it and didn't even make it work, in my view. They could have made it work. It's a great comic. It was a great concept when it came out, but they really want Harley Quinn to be a thing, and it's just not going to happen. Margot Robbie is gorgeous. And the reason they loved her in the first movie is because she's so amazingly hot and dressed like half naked, crazy person. Which led to a lot of young women dressing like half crazy, naked, crazy people. They are super villains, and to make them heroes is tough. You got to really establish the heroes. They haven't done it. And all sorts of problems with that movie. So no, I'm not seeing that movie. Emma, I guess, or Ema, a couple deals with the aftermath of an adoption that goes awry as their household falls apart. Maybe I don't like this movie poster. I would have thought it was some crazy alien movie. It's a giant fireball and a couple kissing ahead of it. What? I don't get that. The whole marketing confuses me. Maybe I'll check out the trailer, but no. Also in August, Free Guy, which I looked at this trailer. It's another video game movie, which we didn't need. Ryan Reynolds is the lead, so he's the only thing I think that's really going to sell it. Or I can never say his name. Taki Watiti is in it, not directing it. If he was directing it, maybe. I mean, it doesn't look like the worst movie ever made. It's good they're making more comedies again, but no, this isn't going to be a good movie in my view. It's never going to be able to sustain 2 hours of your time, in my view. It's just, it's dumb, is what it is. It's older people trying to take advantage of video games in the movie industry. It's not going to work. Not gonna work, dude. It shows a complete lack of understanding of what video games are about. Respect. I talked about this movie just recently. We looked at the trailer, and somebody pointed out in the I forget who it was, JEC, I think he goes by, pointed out that Otis Redding actually wrote the Respect song, which I went up and looked up, and then I was like, oh, wait a minute. And it's a completely different song. And granted, this happens all the time in the music industry. People rewrite it. But the trailer is kind of misleading. It kind of shows her writing the song. And I think, and I'm sure in the movie they don't give her that kind of credit. But what are you doing? I mean, why not just do the music industry what it's really about? And a lot of it's about just marketing. Otis Redding, unfortunately, didn't hit with Respect. Aretha did. He wrote the song. I'm sure he made money. He had his own career. Maybe it wasn't as big as Aretha's. But the idea that you're going to just, make her out to be the and it's just a plug and play kind of biopic. The rise and fall. It's the same goddamn movie every time, and it infuriates me. So I'm definitely not going to see this, even though I love the music. I love Aretha Franklin. I'll listen to the music at home. I don't need a biopic to give me some trumped up version of what her life was. I want to see what her life really was like, and for that, I'll watch a documentary or something. Don't Breathe sequel. You know, the first part I didn't particularly like. The first one, I'm sure it was decent flick. I mean, it wasn't a bad premise, but what? Now we're making a sequel. I don't get it. Coda. As a coda, child of deaf adults, Ruby is the only hearing person in her deaf family. When the family's fishing business is threatened, Ruby finds herself torn between pursuing her love of music and her fear of abandoning her parents. Okay. I mean, that doesn't sound bad. It sounds like a drama movie that makes sense. It doesn't sound like an American movie. I can't tell by the names whether or not it's an American movie. It sounds like it's a foreign movie. Yeah, it doesn't sound bad. The Meaning of Hitler. What? Oh, it's a documentary. An inquiry in the decades of cultural fascination with the Nazi leader and the ramifications of such fascination in present-day politics. Yeah, maybe. You know, with documentaries, it really depends upon the subject matter. I mean, they've been doing, you know, documentaries about Hitler for God knows how long. You know, maybe it'll be okay. The Night House. I think I reviewed this trailer. A widow begins to uncover her recently deceased husband's disturbing secrets. Yeah, I did. It's this weird movie where there's like a second house and where I don't know. It's like a weird sort of surreal thing. Could be good. It's going to be tough to deliver on that. Those movies are tough to deliver on. When you promise the moon and the stars and you don't deliver, it's like, we got your money. And it's just like, eh. Reminiscence. I think they pushed this back into August. A scientist discovers a way to revive your past and use technology to search for his long-lost love. Hugh Jackman, I think, is the scientist. Maybe, you know, I don't know. It's going to be tough for Hugh Jackman to make that transition, you know, as an actor. Love him as Wolverine. Looks just like the Wolverine. I would think, you know, a better transition for Hugh Jackman would have been to do action movies, but he is not an action actor, you know, or doesn't want to be, it seems. It seems like he just wants to do really hardcore acting and musicals, and, you know, who could blame him? I mean, he's an actor, and for whatever reason, he looked like Wolverine and got that part, but I'd like to see him do some action movies, kind of like, you know, serious action, you know, like something that was action-oriented but had a little drama in it, and then kind of transition in. I think it's going to be a tough sell, at least for me, you know. Oh, Wolverine. But who knows? Maybe it's a good movie. Paw Patrol, the movie, I'm not going to see this. What am I, 8? I don't know if I'd see it even if I was 8. Paw Patrol is pretty tame. I mean, if you got kids, obviously, I don't know if you're going to take them to the theater for this, but whatever. The Protege. I looked at this trailer a few days ago. It looks okay. You know, it looks like it could be good. It looks like Samuel L. Jackson is actually trying to play a different character, and it's not really focused on him. Looks like he gets killed in it. But very typical kind of Hitman movie. There's a lot of Hitman movies. John Wick is big, and this is sort of the echo of that, I think. But I think it could be decent. Candyman, hard pass, man. Hard pass. Look, Candyman, in my view, wasn't even good when it came out. Tony Todd, I mean, I think he's great. I met him. I interviewed him once. He was a really nice guy. But back in, right after everything happened with Brandon Lee, he's really, really messed up by that. He was great in The Crow, by the way. But Candyman has always been like, meh. And yet another slasher horror movie that doesn't quite make it for me. I mean, I don't find it scary. I just find it like it's a monster movie, and you know, it tends to be inconsistent. And worse about this movie, it looks like they're trying to make it woke somehow. So Good luck with that woke horror. Isn't wokeness horrible enough? The Beatles Get Back, a documentary about the group. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. This is was shot in early '69 for the 1970 feature Let It Be. I've seen all this footage. I don't know why I'd go see a movie for it, but whatever. Looking into September. We're going to go into September, I think. Shang-Chi, Legend of the Ten Rings. I mean, it doesn't look bad. It looks like, though, Marvel's going to start resting on their laurels a bit. So, I mean, it'll probably be okay. I don't know. Maybe I'll go to the theater. The trailer looked decent. We Need to Do Something. What is this? After Melissa and her family seek shelter from a storm, they become trapped. No sign of rescue, hours turn into days, and Melissa comes to realize that she and her girlfriend Amy might have something to do with the horrors that threaten to tear her family and the entire world apart. Well, that's certainly interesting. I don't know what that's about. That sounds cool. Malignant, original horror thriller from director James Wan. Could tell us a little bit more about it. I mean, it's a decent title, I guess. I don't recognize any of the names in it. How about a synopsis? IMDb. The Card Counter. The film, written and directed by Paul Schrader, follows William Tell Isaac, a gambler and former serviceman who sets out to reform a young man seeking revenge on a mutual enemy from their past. Tell just wants to play cards. His Spartan existence on the casino trail is shattered when he is approached by Cirque, a vulnerable and angry young man seeking to help execute his plan for revenge on a military colonel. Tells sees a chance at redemption through his relationship with Cirque, gaining backing from mysterious gambling financier Linda. Tell takes Cirque with him on the road, going from casino to casino until the unlikely trio sets their sights on winning the World Series of Poker in Las Vegas, but keeping Cirque on the straight and narrow proves impossible, dragging Tell back into the darkness of his past. That sounds good. That sounds really good. Oh, William Dafoe's in it, too. Tiffany Haddish. Okay, as long as she's not doing comedy, I'm on board. Action, drama, thriller. Oscar Isaac. Yeah, sounds good. Sounds like a solid premise. I like these low-stakes, sort of gangstery type things. So, The Boss Baby, Family Business. Dear God, no. Dear God, no. Alec Baldwin isn't even in it. I almost say Alec Guinness. Jeff Goldblum's in it. What are you doing? What are you doing, man? Ugh. Boss Baby. Blah. Venom, Let There Be Carnage. Talked about this. It's bizarre, I think, that Andy Serkis is directing it, but maybe he's a good director. Plot unknown. I know the plot. I mean, the plot's in the trailer. How could you're falling behind here, IMDb. Carnage is played by Woody Harrelson. He's a serial killer on death row and somehow gets his own parasite, and then Venom has to fight him. So it's Venom versus Venom, essentially. But Carnage is more popular, is my understanding. I don't know if they're going to follow the comic, because I think initially Carnage spawns from Venom. Venom spawns a bunch of other parasites, and they're more powerful, and they run amok, and he has to go after all of them. But Carnage is the most powerful one. Dear Evan Hansen, talked about this just recently. Film adaptation of the Tony and Grammy award-winning musical about Evan Hansen, a high school senior with social anxiety. Yeah, I still kind of stick by my initial take on this, that it feels emotionally manipulative. A lot of people in the comments said, no, it's great. Yeah, I mean, if you like that kind of stuff, it feels like there's a lot going on there. And it is partly a musical, so I don't really want to hear songs about suicide and stuff. Yeah, it's not for me. The Many Saints of Newark, a look at the formative years of New Jersey gangster Tony Soprano. Oh, right. Now I remember this one. Yeah. No, I'm not gonna watch this. Look, let it go, man. Let it go. James Gandolfini is gone. He was the heart and soul of a lot of the Sopranos stuff. I get it. You're trying to milk this, but holy Christmas, man. Let it go. I mean, mafia stuff, you could do mafia stuff all day long. You could have taken this title and just done your own version of the mafia, whatever. Instead, you got to tie it in to Tony Soprano. It's not going to work, in my view. I mean, is that what it is? It's about reviving Tony Soprano and trying to bring back the series again. Ugh, I no, no. And finally, The Eyes of Tammy Faye. It's a biopic, I guess, an intimate look at the extraordinary rise and fall and redemption of televangelist Tammy Faye Baker. Director Michael Showalter from the state? Wow, interesting. Jessica Chastain. I wonder if this is going to be Vincent D'Onofrio. Weird. Even weirder that Michael Showalter is directing. That is very interesting. He's more of a comedian guy. I mean, in the state, he was a really funny character. Showalter is the guy. He did I'm out of here. That character, if you remember the state back in the day. Well, good for him getting this gig. I mean, I'm sure this is a big gig for him. A lot of guys in the state are directing. Yeah. Well, maybe that's what they were always meant to be. Maybe that's what New York does to you. It turns you into a director instead of an actor. Yeah, you guys didn't make the move to L.A., so you end up directing. But hey, that's a good thing. I would love it if it was funny, though. I would love it if it was going to be a comedy. I mean, maybe it'll be some comedic moments, but we'll see if he can direct drama. Interesting. So interesting stuff. Not a total summer of suck, but, a lot of stuff that I'm not going to see. Anyhow, I think you can judge a book by its cover, and this is why I'm not seeing these movies.